Happy Friday, everybody. Update regarding EquipIQ. So quite a few updates got rolled out, one of them being the landing page to make clear the value proposition of what this tool is going to do for you as a contractor. And basically the premise is that if you have equipment in your business and it's a significant part of your business in your industry, the likelihood that your equipment's losing money in your business, either from under budgeting it, under pricing it, or even underutilizing it, all three of those combined is very, very likely. So what I'm trying to do here is solve that problem to make sure that this is not a leaky hole in the bucket of your business. So one thing to illustrate that is when you come to the landing page now, you'll see this calculator, and this is meant to demonstrate the leaky bucket. So if you drag the slider, and let's say your fleet is worth 500,000, and let's just say the average useful life is 8, maybe 9, 10 years. Usually 9-ish is about the average. The biggest slider is the current recovery. So what I've noticed from a lot of contractors is just on the asset values alone, they're typically in the 40 to 60% range, just from a budgeting standpoint. Not to talk about the pricing and the utilization. So as you can see, I'm starting with budgeting, and we're going to work our way down. Eventually, this tool is going to handle everything. But let's just say it's roughly 50. Ghost equipment means equipment that you no longer have, but is still in your insurance policy. I've seen about roughly 5% is pretty normal. And then the amount of jobs per year you do, this doesn't change your total annual loss. It just changes the slider on your per job loss. So let's say your premium landscape design build and you do 10 projects a year, you'll slide that to 10. Let's say you do tons of like cookie cutter patios, you'll probably be on the slider of 200. Again, it doesn't change your total annual loss. And so how does that break down? Well, of 500,000 over 9 years, that's a depreciation of $55,556. And then the typical overhead markup is going to be 25% on that equipment. And then let's say the average budgeted net profit is going to be 10%. So your target on the equipment is 76,000. But if you're under recovering by 50%, then that's how you get this 38,569 loss, which is 27,000 in depreciation that wasn't billed, overhead not recovered, margin not captured, and insurance overpayments. So if you use EquipIQ, particularly as a beta user, because we're in beta right now, so why not try it? It's free. You will solve this immediate issue in your business, which this calculator resolves. Later, we'll be fixing the other buckets, but right now we are trying to stress test everything in here. And then some other things in here. And the main proposition is that right now, with the advent of the AI tools, we've made this platform pretty much no manual data entry required. So let's jump in, log into my account, and we'll get the some data demo here. So we now got a change login here. So there's quite a few things have changed. This was not a feature in here before, but want to keep people posted with some of the tweaks that have been going on. I think it was probably, yes, it was last video I did was we were on 1.3. We are now on 1.34. So quite a bit has been updated. Some little tweaks along the way, but here are the main updates to the app. First is the Get Started page. So when you create your account now, you're going to be directed through the major features in the app to make sure that it directs you, that it motivates you to use it for the first time. So you start to understand it. So you start to see how it becomes a useful tool. The main ones being that as soon as you either manually, which I don't recommend, you've got an AI tool right here, load up your documents per equipment. The AI will scrape it and fill out all of these items for you, okay? Which is really important. Why would you want to sit here copying this, like reading PDFs and stuff? If you want to, go ahead, but I would recommend using the import feature, which I think we're going to add a little star here and make it clear that this is an AI function. Insurance has not changed. Insurance is working as intended. So highly recommend, again, using it because it's going to close the loop on your insurance, right? Remind yourself 30, 60, 90 days in advance. Start getting on the horn with your insurance broker. And then like when you're ready, you can copy this list and send it to them. Eventually we'll have an email feature built in to send right to broker right from the app. But we got to work on our email deliverability because right now everything's going to spam with the way that email deliverability works. So the get started tutorial is working really good. We changed kind of the setup on the logins. The cash flow analysis, the dashboard, we've simplified it. There was like way too much stuff on here. So we've simplified it now. The key things you need to know coming in. Cash flow, there was a few bugs on it, so we fixed it as well. You can now sort these columns A to Z. By default, it's sorting the payoff date, right? The one that is the longest out, and then all the way down to whatever was paid in full, whatever payments were finished, the ones that were recently finished or coming up, right? So this is really key. Cash flow analysis is really key. This needs to be planned in your business. Otherwise, you're not going to understand why you don't have the net profit you're supposed to, because this is like a ghost expense on your P&L. You will see tax depreciation for your equipment on your P&L, but you won't see the payments, the cash flow, which the only way you can see that is you're looking at cash flow statements. There's a really good way of visualizing regarding equipment, which you need to keep on top of. The FMS export was also updated too. As you can see, we're alluding to being able to have the values you need for other softwares. That is coming up. I need a few beta users in these softwares to get access and see what that looks like so that we can present their data for those platforms and make it export ready. Now, eventually, we would love to have integrations with these softwares where you can have an actual direct export integration tool. That is going to take some time because we're going to have to establish our project here and then work with them on that. API integrations is a whole nother can of worms. So for now, most of them are copy and paste ready and it works just fine. But as time goes on, we'll start talking with those companies and seeing if it's even possible of doing an API integration so that you can just click export, to whatever budget or to whatever item catalog you might be using, and away we go. Now, one final thing that is coming up though is we are at the next step of getting the export tool ready for the item catalog in LMN. So as you know, as an LMN user, the budgeting tool is just one part of your LMN setup. After you set your budget, which helps you set your markups and margins for pricing, you have to go to the item catalog and set your items and rates for labor, equipment, materials, subs, and other. And so what we haven't built yet is the ability for you to copy what you need here and go into the item catalog and build out your equipment item rates. In LMN, you can already import from your budget the specific item, but what's not there is it's asking you for another calculator of a bunch of different values like billable hours and such to help you build the rate. So that is coming up. That's going to be a major update to this where we are going to have the ability to export what you need for setting your equipment pricing rates specifically. So there's more logic coming in where we have to determine how many billable hours you're going to use for that equipment. And this is where we start getting down to rates and underutilization in this project, because you have to say how many hours per year you're going to use that equipment. And you need to make sure that it's near the break even or better of your rental, and then set your rate. And then after that, internally in your company, the third phase, which is utilization, which is if you said you're going to use something for 1,000 hours, you need to use it for 1,000 hours. Otherwise, you're going to run into a utilization issue on the calculator. So that's going to be next on the calculator, is going to be utilization here. So it will be, hey, all this works if you're at 100% utilization, but if you don't, here's what's left. So we're working our way to that. It's going to come slowly but surely. Most of the kinks with what we have now have been ironed out. Again, we're looking for more beta users to get on board and help us see some of the flow of using the software, the way people think about it, et cetera, so that we're building here diligently a tool that is meaningful, that closes the loop for you on equipment, that actually helps you build a profitable business. And I think over time, it'll just get better and better and better. Again, I've been asked about maintenance and repair features. That is a whole nother can of worms. If we get to it, if this project becomes successful, it's not out of the realm of possibility. I see great ideas for being able to manage that all in one place. And literally anything revolving equipment could be handled here. It's going to take some time, some diligence, some thought, some planning, some testing to make sure it works. The last thing I want is anyone to come on here, even it being a free open beta, but I don't want you to come in here and it'd be a pain in the butt, because then what was the point, right? So cool things coming. Super excited. Great feedback from a software incubator that I joined, and just looking forward to getting the word out there and making sure that we can build something that finally solves this problem for contractors, whether you're a landscape contractor, which of course is the industry that I'm in for our company, but there are other equipment heavy industries that could totally benefit from this tool. So if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a message, leave a comment, and look forward to seeing you on the other side.